Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge. They don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like. Wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because they agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifted. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It is Pam Esquire, also known as Your Law Intellect. And shout out to YouTube for giving out at least one notification, okay? We appreciate, if you got a notification, put a 1 in the chat because I'm going to give YouTube their little props because I always talk about when they don't give out notifications, okay? Before I came on as opposed to after I already left. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you don't know who I am, my name is Pam Esquire, also known as The Law Intellect. And you, my friends, are the intellects. If you are new here, welcome. If you have been here before, thank you so much for all of your support. If you will be so kind and you're like, how can I support this channel? You can hit that like button, or you can subscribe to the channel, or you can share the video so other people know that we are on. Thank you guys so much. Oh, look at all these ones. Okay, YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to YouTube for doing. Okay, YouTube. All right. Maybe I'm off punishment. Okay. All right. It's good to be back. You know, it seemed like we ain't kicked it in a while. I think it's been like almost a week. So thank you guys so much for your continued love and support. So if you guys don't know, I have a birthday in 2 weeks. So what I did was I was like, I'm going to go ahead and do a little Amazon list. And I put it in my membership. You know, just, everybody don't have Cash App or whatever. So I was like, if anybody wants to bless me. And I have an issue with receiving things. I'm always giving things. So I was like on Amazon struggling to put stuff on the list. They sold that list out in less than 24 hours. You're talking about 30 items. I would put 10 on. Then they would go away like, girl, where's the list at? Then I put 10 more items on. Then they'd go away like, girl, where's the list at? I'm like, okay. So I just put 10 on today. And I just added a couple of more because those pretty much are sold out as well. So I want to thank you in advance. I'm not going to open it until my birthday. But I just put that list in there last night and I was getting calls like, girl, can you come get your boxes? You got boxes here, boxes there, boxes everywhere. So I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart because, life's been lifing lately. It really has been lifing. And sometimes it feels good to know that people appreciate you and appreciate what you do. So that's my little soapbox for a minute. But we are here to talk about Diddy, okay? We're here to talk about Diddy and how Diddy has said, y'all not just going to be suing me without me suing you back. He has said, tag, you are it. He has said, won't stop, can't stop. And he is definitely going hard in the paint in this lawsuit, all right? So that's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to speak to a few of you guys since, I ain't been on in a while, so I haven't seen you. Jackpot said you are loved. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Make a girl feel good. I appreciate it. I really, really do. You said you gave up. I ain't even put it on the main platform. I was like, if I put it in the membership, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't even know. I've never done one before. So people were asking me questions about the Amazon. I was like, I don't really know. Let me double check and see. They're like, well, how are we gonna get it to you? I'm like, yeah, I don't really know. Cause I've had people send me their list and I go ahead and get whatever's on the list or whatnot. But as far as me myself, I've never done it. And you never realize how much you don't really think about doing for yourself until somebody's like, put some more stuff on there. I'm like, oh my gosh. Usually I'm on here buying stuff for other people. I've never like just went on there for myself like that, unless like an immediate need comes up and I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and get this off of Amazon. But for the most part, I really don't. I do it for other people. So it feels good. And you guys, made me smile. And I appreciate it. Hey, TT, good to see you, honey. Samarta, thank you so much for joining. Oh, you said I look good. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I have sarcastic lipstick. This is the lipstick that I have on. For those of you, this is just my friend's line. Shayna Wilson Williams. She's a gospel artist. It's I Don't Remember. That is the name of it. So you see the sign is the company is called Sarcastic. So all of the products have sarcastic names on it. So that's why it's like, I don't remember. So people will be like, what do you got on? I'm like, I don't remember. And they're like, no, what lipstick? I'm like, no, that's the name of it. I don't remember. Like, look, that's what it say. Let's see if you can see it. I don't remember is the name of it. Jeff Bezos is a major prompt. Well, what y'all want me to do about it? I don't know. No, what you want me to do? I got stock over there too. I mean, it is what it is. If I stop going to everybody that ain't thinking about that somehow behind the scenes doing whatever with Trump, we probably wouldn't even have water. I mean, that's just what it is. People getting what they asked for. They wanted him to be president, and they're getting what they asked for. Thank you so much, Unique Girl. I appreciate that. No, I haven't. Who is Robert Brooks? You said, have I seen the Robert Brooks family lawsuit? Who is that? Can you send me that in my DM, Starfish and Coffee? I don't know who that is. I'd have talked about it yesterday. Thank you, Cassandra. I appreciate that. Sharon, I want you to save that happy birthday till February 5th, okay? Yes. Okay, let me see. You were texting someone without a real number, so that's nobody. They're telling you it was an error. That's not the right number. Hey, illegal paralegal, good to see you. Hey, Thais, good to see you. I gotta call you today, get our daily conversations. Good to see all of you guys. Crystal Marshall, yep, he said, you sue me, I'ma sue you back. Pretty much, that's what he said. So, let me see. Hey, Thais, they were telling me in the when I put my little list up, they was like, you need to put a whole bunch of stuff like Thais. You need to have Thais teach you how to do an Amazon list. Like, dang, okay. So Thais, you're gonna have to help me out apparently, because the little list I did wasn't enough. They said it wasn't enough stuff in there. So I'm gonna need some assistance, apparently. He said the Wednesday is Wednesdaying. Yes. Yeah, that's what LLE said. She was like, Thais know how to do a real list. I don't know what this is. What is this skimpy stuff that you put out here? It's like, goodness. Okay. That's not what we're here for. We're here about this lawsuit right here that was filed over there in the Southern District of New York. And it's Sean Combs versus Courtney Burgess and Ariel Mitchell and Nexstar Media. And y'all know who Burgess is, right? Courtney Burgess is the guy who you guys were asking me about, and I said I wasn't going to talk about because he sounded like he wasn't being honest. So he is the guy that is in my thumbnail who was going from channel to channel saying that I guess he received the real copy of Kim Porter's book, and the story was changing from channel to channel. First he was on the phone and some guy he was talking to was in the presence of Kim Porter. And so the guy said, "Hey, I'm talking to Courtney." And Kim Porter spoke to him. And next thing you know, it was like ding dong. And I guess they were at his door with this book. Then I heard that it was somehow Tupac's stepfather was in prison or something, and he was writing him, and he allegedly had something that had to do with this book. Then after he did all of these rounds, he had Ariel Mitchell, and you guys may have known her. She's been on several cases with Trey. She has a case I know with Trey Songz. The Chris Brown documentary. We guys know that Chris Brown sued for defamation against the ID channel because of a documentary talking about his history of violence. And they also talked about some alleged sexual assaults that he was never convicted of. And so he decided to sue. Well, Ariel represented that lady. That is the Jane Doe. So she did represent her. And that's the young lady, if you guys recall, if you guys watched the Shade Room over there on the Instagram, where when she filed the lawsuit, Chris Brown came out with text messages saying it's cat because he was saying it was consensual. And so there were text messages of which he was saying, "Hey, why don't you take the plan B? I'm not saying that I did anything in you or whatever, but take the plan B." And she was like, "Okay." And then like he invited her to some other spot. They were like in correspondence, and it sounded like it was consensual. Then there was a voicemail of which I guess Chris Brown started ghosting her. And when he started ghosting her, she did a voicemail of which she was like, "Why? Do you don't want to talk to me anymore? Type thing." So, anyways, because the Chris Brown, I guess Ariel, now this is what she said on this documentary that I wouldn't have even watched if Chris Brown didn't sue. So allegedly, Ariel was representing this lady and was like, "Hey, what's up with these text messages?" Because she never told Ariel about it. And so I guess what Ariel did was she said, well, she was trying to research herself and see if she can subpoena to get the entire conversation. Because what it looked like is that what Chris Brown posted looked like she was talking to herself, like he was ignoring her. And I guess that's also the information that was given to the police. So the police chose not to prosecute. Or not the police, but the prosecutor chose not to prosecute. So apparently, according to this documentary that I wouldn't have even looked at if Chris Brown didn't sue, she said that she was unable to get the full text messages, and for that, whatever, she decided to withdraw out of the young lady's case. But she told the young lady, "Hey, go find somebody else that may want to represent you." And she never did. So the case ended up getting dismissed, I believe, for failure to prosecute. Now, in this documentary, I feel like I'm plugging the documentary. Never mind, X that out. So that's Ariel Mitchell. It's also a case in Miami against Trey Songz. She also has a case. She was going around with these Diddy cases, and she said she's been ringing the alarm for years on Diddy. So that's who Ariel is, right? Courtney Burgess, all of a sudden, after he went on all these platforms, he was subpoenaed to go before the grand jury. Now we've heard all these discrepancies on, did they come raid your house? They found the hard drive. What did they find, if anything? What did you turn over, if you turned anything over? It was just a lot. So then there were videos of which they were outside, and Ariel, I guess, was with him to go before the grand jury as his attorney. So now Diddy said he is sick of all of this ish. Somebody is lying. And so he has sued Courtney Burgess and the attorney Ariel Mitchell and Nexstar Media. So that's where we at right now. Y'all caught up? Hit the like button, okay? Hit that like button for me. Okay. So let's get into this good lawsuit. So the lawsuit starts out by saying, The nature of the action. This case is about defendant's willful scheme to fabricate and broadcast outrageous lies concerning Mr. Combs and then to leverage those falsehoods to gain social media fame, enrich themselves, and strip Mr. Combs of his reputation, livelihood, and right to a fair trial. So basically, they're saying this is about clout chasing, okay? Paragraph 2, social media protagonists, including but not limited to defendants Burgess and Mitchell, have for months been fueling a media frenzy, fabricating outlandish claims and stirring up baseless speculations about Mr. Combs, vying to outdo each other in a shameless competition to draw attention to themselves with no regard for the truth. In this pitiful spectacle, all pretense of objectivity has been abandoned as a global audience feasts at all you can eat buffet of wild lies and conspiracy theories. Defendants are among the worst perpetrators in the offensive scenario. They eagerly court every opportunity to broadcast blatant falsehoods, pretending they have proof that Mr. Combs engaged in heinous acts, knowing that no such proof exists. As a result, okay, let me go to this next page. As a result, millions of people have come to believe the made-up evidence, in quotes, that defendants have falsely described and vouched for. The torrent of lies and the immeasurable harm and prejudice it is causing to Mr. Combs must stop. Defendant Burgess falsely claimed that he possessed videos of Mr. Combs involved in the sexual assault of celebrities and minors. Burgess repeated this false claim many times to anyone who would listen, including reporters from major news outlets, including News Nation, which recklessly repeated and amplified his lies as if they were true. Thus, Burgess's baseless lies were rebroadcast on social media and traditional media platforms that reach millions of viewers in the United States and abroad. Now, his attorney, Mitchell, repeated those lies. Like Burgess, Mitchell knew that her client's claims were false, or at minimum were utterly reckless in disregarding their falsity, because no such tapes exist, and because Mitchell never saw any video depicting Mr. Combs sexually abusing anyone, adult or minor. Mitchell's many false assertions that Burgess possessed such videos were either knowingly, blatantly falsehoods or recklessly false statements made as the direct result of Mitchell's inexcusable failure to investigate her client's outrageous lies. Burgess peddled his false and defamatory statements about Mr. Combs to promote himself on social media. Mitchell did the same. Both seek to capitalize on the resulting publicity for financial gain. Together, Burgess, Mitchell's, and News Nation have caused profound reputational and economic injury and severe prejudice to Mr. Combs. In this action, Mr. Combs seeks money damages, including punitive damages, for the harm the defendant's false and defamatory statements have caused. What do you guys think so far, huh? What do you guys think? You said bring these documents to life. What do you guys think? My goodness, was that not dramatic? You said, Thais said Sister Mitchell's going out like Apostle Busby. Attitudes and Tylenol says she likes the dramatic tone for me. Listen, this is how I envision them while they were sitting up there using all these creative words. This is like a creative writing. This isn't even just, this is good for a drama book. This is how they have it. Thank you so much. I would like to thank all of my intellects for this award. I appreciate the love. Okay, let's go on because we'll be clowning about this all day. So we know we got the parties, which is Sean Combs, Courtney Burgess, Ariel Mitchell, and defendant Nexstar Media. And I'm assuming they are the company for News Nation. Then we got jurisdiction. You guys know about the personal jurisdiction and all of that. So we're going to get into the factual background because that's nothing for us to really talk about. All right, y'all hit the like button. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's get into the factual background and see what they got to say over here. Sean Combs became famous. Okay, let me get my. Do I got a mic in here? Okay, let me get my mic. It ain't plugged up though. Sean Combs became famous for his extraordinary and historic achievements as a musician and music producer, hip hop impresario, record label owner, fashion innovator, and icon, path breaking spirits entrepreneur, and committed philanthropist. Mr. Combs is among the most accomplished businessmen of his generation. In September of 2024, Mr. Combs was indicted in the Southern District of New York on federal racketeering and ex-trafficking charges. Mr. Combs entered a plea of not guilty to those charges on September 17th of 2025, emphatically and unequivocally denies the charges against him and is preparing to contest the government's evidence, such as it is at trial beginning on May 5th of 2025. Mr. Combs has faith in the integrity of the judicial system and is confident the jury will acquit him. So you know it's about to get grimy when you talk about the defendants. Defendant Burgess has been described as a one-time industry bit player and a fringe character. In recent months, seeking to capitalize on the media's insatiable appetite for celebrity scandal, Burgess has gone to great lengths to invent and publicize outrageous falsehoods about Mr. Combs. In media interviews, Burgess claims he has worked in the music industry for decades, yet there exists no public record of any professional achievements, and he left no detectable footprint on the industry prior to his recent campaign to malign Mr. Combs. The shade is, I need my sun. Let me get some sunglasses. This is some shady. Wait a minute. Some shade right here. My gosh. She's so peeps. His malicious conduct, which according to the New York Times has only amped up the circus-like frenzy surrounding Mr. Combs' case, is intended to garner publicity and profit from the attention surrounding Mr. Combs' legal proceedings. Okay. My goodness. Let's go on. This is some shady, y'all. Some shady mess going on. Okay. Burgess has never met Mr. Combs and has never had any relationship with anyone in Mr. Combs' family. Nevertheless, Burgess has claimed on multiple occasions that Kim Porter, the mother of 4 children with Mr. Combs, who died in 2018, provided him with a copy of her memoir and videos depicting Mr. Combs actually assaulting inebriated celebrities and minors. Those close to Miss Porter, including her children and her roommate for over 20 years, had never heard of Mr. Burgess before he made this utterly implausible and completely false claim. Yet, Burgess has made this false claim numerous times to the press and in social media appearances. In one such interview broadcast October 31st of 2024, on the Atwood Unleashed YouTube channel, Burgess elaborated on his false claim that he received these materials directly from Kim Porter. Host Sean Atwood, whose YouTube channel boasts 946,000 subscribers, including upon information and belief, numerous subscribers in New York, as Burgess, upon information and belief, must have known, introduced Burgess in one interview by noting that he, quote, has certainly been making waves on the internet, end quote. Atwood also noted that, quote, we've had so much interest in this one, end quote, and promised to, quote, get down with some crazy things that Courtney had personally experienced, end quote. And on that broadcast, Burgess falsely claimed that Miss Porter enlisted the help of a music industry mutual acquaintance to put her files in Burgess's hands. Specifically, Burgess claimed that this individual called Burgess and told him, quote, I got something for you. Kim told me to give you something. She's got something she wants you to work with, end quote. Burgess went on to claim again falsely that the same individual later met Burgess in New York and delivered to him the first of several flash drives containing the memoir and videos that Miss Porter supposedly intended for him to have, even though, even according to Burgess, Miss Porter had no more than a passing acquaintance with Burgess. So basically, when he said he passed these flash drives on, but Burgess has acknowledged that he don't really know Kim like that. So why Kim would pick Kim, is beyond me. Okay. Paragraph 20. During the interview, Atwood posted still images that he, his co-host Tommy Scoville, and Burgess insinuated had come from the videos that Burgess falsely claimed Kim Porter had provided to him. They described one as depicting Justin Bieber. Oh, I missed this. Broadcast. They describe one as depicting Justin Bieber, a famous recording artist, kissing an unidentified male. Atwood asked, is this picture legit? Burgess responded, yes, definitely. Scoville ventured a guess as to the identity of the unidentified male, speculating that, quote, it's one of those music execs because, allegedly, a lot of those guys, that's why they're in there. They're weirdos like the rest of them, end quote. Having labeled all music industry execs as weirdos, Scoville then asked Burgess, quote, how freaked out were you the first time you got to look at some of these images? Shocker or what? Burgess responded that he was, quote, freaked out because my daughter was a listener of Justin Bieber. You understand? Burgess stated that Bieber, quote, was a child at the time. Burgess characterized Bieber as a, quote, victim who loved being treated like that. And that's what happens sometimes when you're a kid. Burgess went on to compare Mr. Combs to Lucifer, claiming that Mr. Combs, like Lucifer, quote, destroyed bodies. He destroyed careers. He could get you where you want to be at, but you're going to give up the back end. Ouch. My. Burgess, Atwood, and Schofield also commented on an image that appeared to depict Mr. Combs with his arms around an adult woman's shoulder. Despite the absence of any indication in the image of any untoward conduct, Burgess suggested that the woman was underage. Quote, I think she's about 18 right there. She looks about 18, end quote. Following up on Burgess's comment, Schofield falsely suggested that the photograph evidenced actual misconduct with minors. Quote, yeah, it's just it's disturbing how the number of people who appear to be underage in all these things. I don't know where Diddy's attorneys have time to be looking at all of this stuff, these videos on YouTube. Because that's basically what they have to do. They have to look at these videos. Let me put my mic up. Okay. That's what they have to do is they got to look at these videos. They are quoting line by line, precept by precept, all these videos. Hey, Patty, thank you so much for joining us. My gosh. Cheryl said, yeah, Burgess sounded like a whole liar to me. So that's why I never talked about him. I never talked about his. Well, I'm not going to say never. I did, like, when people asked me in the comments, I said what my opinion was. But yeah, I was in the book. I didn't buy the book because it just seemed a little sketchy because on Amazon, they let you read like 5 or 6 pages. It was a lot of pages. I mean, the grammar was messed up. The timelines were off on a lot of these celebrities because this is my era where I grew up in. So some of the stuff, I was like, I'm not buying that. That don't seem like it's legit. But then people were coming out trying to validate it, I guess. I don't know. But let's go on, okay? I think that's probably what we're going to see on these superseding indictments. It's got to be, man. It just keeps coming back to the underage thing again and again and again. It's terrifying. Burgess and Schofield's statements about these images on the Atwood Unleashed broadcast were specifically and maliciously intended to convince viewers falsely that Burgess possessed and Atwood and Schofield had seen evidence that Mr. Combs had engaged in sexual abuse of celebrities and minors, even though they knew those claims were false when they made them. So are they like, that's who they suing, is them Atwood people? I think Sherelle was talking about those people over there. Let me go back here and see. Defendant Nextel Media, a Delaware corporation. It don't say that. I'm not sure. I guess we'll go on and we'll see. Okay. On the same broadcast, Burgess insinuated falsely that talking about Mr. Combs and the fake memoir and videos put him in danger for his life. Burgess also described his efforts to market the fake Porter memoir on Amazon.com, which he initially gave the ghoulish title Kim's Lost Words. After the book was denounced by Miss Porter's family and others as a fake, Amazon pulled the volume from the website. Subsequently, Burgess marketed another equally false and defamatory version of the book titled Kim Porter Tell It All on a different website at www.jamalmillwood.com. Burgess described the second version as R-rated in contrast to the earlier PG version of the fake memoir. Upon information and belief, sometimes in or around September 2024, Burgess contacted Mitchell seeking to team up with a lawyer in an attempt to legitimize and or profit from his outrageous lies. Mitchell is a civil litigator at her name law firm. On her firm's website, she boasts that her practice focuses on high profile cases, including claims of sexual assault perpetrated by a celebrity. I haven't even seen her website. In or around 2021, Mitchell brought a lawsuit against plaintiff and the celebrity musician Trey Songz on behalf of a woman claiming sexual assault by Trey Songz. That's the one I was talking about. It's actually still going on in Miami. There was a lot of stuff with that lawsuit. So let's go to this next page. Okay. In 2022, a witness in that lawsuit testified that Mitchell tried to bribe her to lie about witnessing the purported assault and being assaulted herself. Yeah, that's what was going on in that lawsuit, why it's taking so long. They have a witness that is alleging that Mitchell tried to bribe her, that Ariel Mitchell tried to bribe her to lie in order to boost up, I guess, her claim to say she witnessed the actual assault. So that's part of why this case has been dragging on so long. In or around 2022, Mitchell brought a $20 million lawsuit against rapper Chris Brown on behalf of a woman claiming Brown raped her. Now, this is the one that's in a documentary. After Brown posted a series of text messages and voicemails reflecting a consensual relationship with the plaintiff, Mitchell withdrew. In the summer of 2024, Mitchell filed a lawsuit against plaintiff on behalf of an adult entertainer who alleged she had been ex-trafficked by Mr. Combs. After filing the lawsuit, Mitchell launched a media tour in which she repeatedly promoted herself as an authority on the federal grand jury investigation into Mr. Combs, including in an interview with TMZ Live, during which Mitchell sat in front of a propped-up copy of an issue of Vibe magazine with Mr. Combs on the cover and represented that she would very shortly be in a position to comment on the investigation. Mitchell has brought at least 2 other lawsuits against Mr. Combs. To date, even though Mitchell has not served either of those lawsuits, she has spoken about them extensively to the media. In exchange for press appearances to discuss the allegations against Mr. Combs, Mitchell has demanded luxury accommodations. What? So they've been talking to some of these press people, it sounds like. In exchange for press appearance to discuss the allegations against Mr. Combs, Mitchell has demanded luxury accommodations, including first-class flights to New York City, a minimum 2-night stay at a 4-star minimum hotel, on-site hair and makeup services, meals and snacks, and an unspecified materials fee. She has insisted, moreover, that such interviews must occur in New York City. Where they get this information from? How do they know she asking for all of this? Listen, you can get all that doing these interviews? My goodness. Okay. Get off of that. LP said no wonder she always looks well rested. You know what? We not doing this. We not doing this on today. Okay, let's move on. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I gotta check on my kid. Sorry, I heard her whining a little bit, so I had to make sure she was okay. Make sure Miss Danielle is all right. Okay, let's get back. I got stuck on the makeup and the hair. Shoot, we on page? What page we on? Page 8. Okay. After Burgess engaged her, Mitchell continued peddling false claims to various media outlets. For example, in a television interview with News Nation, upon information and belief, at his studio in New York City that was broadcast on or about September 27, 2024, Mitchell falsely stated that, quote, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, end quote, presumably referencing Burgess or one of his affiliates. Mitchell continued, quote, one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became public knowledge, end quote. Mitchell described the request as a catch and kill and stated that Mr. Combs was in the tape and this other person was, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs. Mitchell falsely confirmed that the video, quote, exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell that the video is a pornographic in nature, end quote. With no evidentiary support, the News Nation host, speaking about Combs' home, then said to Mitchell, quote, it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well, end quote. Mitchell falsely confirmed this and then further stated that based on her review of the supposed false evidence, it doesn't seem like the person knows they're being videotaped. These statements were false. Mitchell never possessed pornographic images involving Mr. Combs, and any celebrity was never able to confirm the existence of any such video. Mr. Combs was never in a position to confirm that any celebrity was surreptitiously recorded in a sex act with Mr. Combs, and thus knew or recklessly disregarded that her statements were false when she made them. Okay. So they saying it's all lies. That's basically what they saying. What she was talking about ain't true. Now she respond to this and she start putting up some evidence and attaching it on a motion to dismiss. It's gonna really shake the internet. If Ariel Mitchell actually has some proof and she decides to file a motion somehow, an anti-slap, if this, I'm assuming this is defamation, and she tries to sue some type of a motion to get rid of, ooh-wee. Anyway, News Nation, upon information and belief, conducted no investigation before broadcasting the false allegations, though it easily could have done so. Mitchell also told News Nation on that broadcast about another client, a woman who alleged that Mr. Combs actually assaulted her in Northern California in 2018. This client's allegations are also false. Mitchell falsely represented that her client's fabricated claims were corroborated, even though Mitchell knew they were not. Specifically, Mitchell falsely stated, quote, "We also have a police report that was made in 2018, end quote. Later in the interview, the host repeated Mitchell's assertion, emphasizing about the purported police report, quote, "You guys actually have one," end quote. The host then asked, quote, "Are we going to be able to see it?" End quote. Mitchell falsely confirmed that she would produce the report. She answered the host, quote, "Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the criminal complaint that was made," end quote. These statements, in which Mitchell claimed to possess a police report corroborating her client's fabricated allegations, were false, and Mitchell knew they were false when she made them. Roughly 2 weeks after the News Nation broadcast, Mitchell filed the lawsuit she had previewed. Contrary to her false assertions, the lawsuit did not attach any police reports. Subsequently, the Walnut Creek Police Department denied having any involvement in the allegations made by Mitchell's client. The Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office released a statement that they had, quote, "thoroughly investigated the accusation," end quote, and determined the claims were unfounded. So I think this was the one where it was like the young lady who said the guy, they were at a club or some bar or something, and she was with her friend, and the friend FaceTimed her with Diddy on there because at some time it was some assertion about Tupac and whatever, and she went to the friend's house and everybody basically essayed her, and she ran and she hit Diddy, and it was all type of stuff in that lawsuit. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was a lot going on. So let's go on to the next page. Are you guys hitting that like button? Huh? Say yes. News Nation broadcasted September 27, 2024 interview with Mitchell without fact-checking Mitchell's false and injurious accusations. News Nation did not even reach out to Mr. Combs' representative for comment. Burgess and Mitchell repeated false and defamatory claims that Burgess possessed videos depicting Mr. Combs actually assaulting celebrities, including minors, led federal prosecutors to subpoena him to grand jury sitting in New York, New York. On the day he appeared before the grand jury, Burgess and Mitchell gave an interview on the courthouse steps. They sure did. It was a video during which they acknowledged that U.S. Marshals had visited his residence to ensure compliance with the subpoena. And this and subsequent press and social media appearances, Burgess and Mitchell continued to repeat false and defamatory claims that Burgess possessed videos depicting Mr. Combs actually assaulting celebrities, including minors. For example, on or about October 31st of 2024, Burgess and Mitchell appeared on News Nation's Banfield show. Upon information and belief at News Nation Studio in New York, New York, also broadcast on YouTube. The host introduced the interview by announcing that Burgess, quote, "just testified before the federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence of Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his 4 kids. On those drives," the witness says, 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males and 2 were females," end quote. The host went on to note that, quote, "because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of X crimes. We know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not." Whoa. This statement was false, and the News Nation host knew it was false, or at minimum recklessly disregarded whether the statements were true or false because she had never seen such videos because they do not exist. A lot going on in this lawsuit. During the broadcast, Burgess and Mitchell confirmed that Burgess had been subpoenaed to a federal grand jury in Manhattan. In response to the host's questioning, Burgess falsely stated that, quote, all 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, 2 to 3, possibly 3, appeared to be minors. All appeared inebriated, and all, to be honest, were victims of sexual assault. Burgess also repeated his false statements about the fake memoir. The host asked him, "Do you know if the notes from the book really were from Kim Porter?" Burgess responded, "Yes, because I spoke to her probably like 6 hours before I received it." In another interview, Burgess claimed that federal law enforcement seized the flash drives from his home. This too was false. On October 7, 2024, Mitchell also falsely claimed that she had done, quote, research indicating that baby oil may be used as a conduit for transmitting drugs mixed into the oil to another person for the purpose of incapacitating them. I remember that statement. Mitchell suggested, moreover, that Mr. Combs did this to one of her clients, i.e., mixed drugs with baby oil and doused her client with it, thereby lowering her defenses. That statement was a lie. Mitchell performed no such research, and even if she had, there is no scientific basis for asserting that baby oil could be infused with drugs to incapacitate anyone. Again, Mitchell knew or should have known that her statements were false when she made them. Mitchell made statements throughout the interview that were unambiguously intended to convince viewers not only that Burgess was telling the truth, but also that she had independently corroborated his claims and was vouching for him. Diddy was like, "Go get her," because that's what this sounds like. He was like, "We're not going to let her get away with this." Mitchell made similar statements on or about the same day as the Banfield YouTube broadcast. During a separate interview she and Burgess gave outside a federal district court in Manhattan. In that interview, the reporter asked, quote, "I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with the actual factual footage?" Mitchell responded, "We have, yeah, it's things that we have." Mitchell intended this statement to convince viewers that Burgess's false claims about Mr. Combs were true, even though she knew or recklessly disregarded at the time that the claims were false. In her shameless pursuit of the spotlight, Mitchell repeated these known lies in a documentary, The Making of a Bad Boy, that aired on NBC stream platform Peacock on January 14, 2025. That must have what triggered him. Because, yeah, that just happened. I forgot Ariel Mitchell was on that too. Yeah, she was on Making of the Bad Boy too. That Peacock, I was like giving some of the breakdown and the summary and the membership. In that documentary, Mitchell endorsed the ludicrous allegation of her client Burgess, stating that Burgess, quote, has done interviews where he purported to own several flash drives that included X tapes with 8 distinct individuals, including A-list celebrities and Diddy, all engaged in X. He believes that these people were intoxicated and they may not have known that they were being recorded, end quote. Then explicitly endorsing Burgess's known lies as truths, Mitchell added, quote, "and Courtney ultimately handed over the videos," end quote, to the federal government. These statements were completely false. Mitchell knew these statements were false because no such video was ever turned over to the government because no such video exists. Mitchell did not stop there. She continued to lend credence to Burgess's lies, asserting that Combs took these videos, which she knew did not exist, so that he could wield power over the purported subjects. Quote, "It was to advance his influence and his power." because now I have them on video where I can say, I'm going to take this to your wife. I'll take this to your husband. I'll take this to the public, and I'll ruin you if you don't do this for me. Whew, there's a lot going on here. You said I just watched a Peacock documentary on Diddy, and it was something. It was something. It definitely was something. It wasn't much that I saw that I didn't know, except for like Sarah from Making the Band. And then of course his childhood friend saying some of the things that he was saying. But yeah. I don't know, guys. Listen, I just hope somebody got something, because I'm assuming that Diddy's team contacted the government like, hey, is there some tapes or something from this Burgess person that they're turning over? So I'm assuming, because at this point, any information they have, they should have, unless I guess maybe they're superseding an indictment and they haven't turned it over yet, because it wouldn't be a part of this case. As the indictment is now, like it wouldn't be a part of that as the indictment stands. I don't know. But to say all of this, and from my understanding, I remember Ariel being on something where she said she saw still pictures of it, like somebody took pictures. I don't think she said she saw the actual video, if I recall correctly. And that's when she was talking about the catch and kill. And I think she said she thinks that the celebrity should purchase the video or something, she said. And everybody was asking, like, is that legal to be asking for that? Like, a catch and kill in theory is not a crime. I know, believe it or not. You said what? There's another documentary on Diddy on Max and ID on January. What else can they say? Rory, what else can they say about this man that we ain't heard? Who they pulling up? His kindergarten teacher? The priest where he said he was the altar boy? The little boy? I want to talk to the guy who was bullying Diddy as a kid that took his bite. On that Peacock documentary, they allege his friend that lived with him. So when Diddy's dad died, according to this documentary, they had a nice house. Like, they was pretty, well off. And so they had this big house, and they allowed this lady and her young son. I guess his mom wanted him raised around other kids. So they allowed this lady and her young son to move into the space, in the house. So this guy grew up with Diddy, and he basically said Diddy was the marshmallow. Okay. He said Diddy got bullied. He said the boy was taking Diddy's bike. I mean, so that's what we want to see. Mr. Bully, can you DM me? We want to know who you are. Okay, now that type of information, okay, yeah. But I don't know what else they about to be given. I don't know. I'm waiting on the 50 Cent produced documentary. That's going to be so fire. That's going to be so fire. All right, let's go on. Elite Leo said, that's why I believe the majority of them are lying. How many more documentaries can they make? Sounds like it's just people making up stuff. I mean, he's had a life, but what are they saying that we haven't already heard? That's more of what I'm saying. Like, what haven't we not heard already? Have we heard most of this stuff? Probably. What else can you add to the conversation? I guess is the best way to put it. Okay, we're on page 12. During the interview and making of A Bad Boy, Mitchell shamelessly, his attorneys is really like watching every documentary, every YouTube video. They putting in hours and work. He is paying some money to keep up with media and everything that's being said in articles. And if anybody's saying anything defamatory that they can't prove. During the interview in the making of A Bad Boy, Mitchell shamelessly promoted herself as a lawyer who had filed several cases against Sean Combs for sexual assault, and asserted with no basis in fact and with utter disregard for the truth that Combs, quote, is a man who has done awful things to hundreds, maybe thousands of people, end quote. She said that. She did say that on that documentary, I remember. Defendants eagerly peddled these lies to enrich themselves. Burgess has profited from his fake Kim Porter memoir, which prior to being pulled down from the Amazon website, briefly rose to the top of its bestseller list. Burgess's craven willingness to profit from the fabricated memoir proves that he is callously indifferent to the emotional distress of Miss Porter's children and has nothing but contempt for the feelings of Miss Porter's extended family and many friends who are heartbroken by her untimely death. Mitchell has also sought to profit from her false and defamatory statements about Mr. Combs. Mitchell has seized every opportunity to promote herself in the media and has insisted on valuable benefits and payments in exchange for interviews, including first-class air travel, four-star hotel accommodations, hair and makeup allowances, and a quote materials fee for copies of, among other things, demand letters sent on behalf of one of her clients who sued Mr. Combs. So some of these places then told them what they paid her, or what they gave her, or what she required. Because how else would you know this? News Nation has likewise profited from repeating and amplifying Burgess's and Mitchell's lies, drawing viewers and promoting its program based on wholly unsubstantiated lies that would have been revealed as false had News Nation conducted even the most modest fact checking. Defendant made false and defamatory statements about Mr. Combs, knowing that they were false and with reckless disregard of their falsity. So yeah, it's lies. It's all a lie, is what he is saying. Let's go on. We're almost reaching the end here. Defendants made these false and defamatory statements in bad faith as part of a deliberate effort to damage Mr. Combs' reputation, undermine his businesses, and by painting him as a debauched and a pedo, to poison the public's perception of him and deprive him of a fair trial. I think the public already has a bad, whether Ariel was out here or not, I don't know if she did much to it. I think people was kind of looking at Miss Mitchell a little like, because the case that she got is a little like, But I think, with that, yeah. But the fair trial thing, I get where they're going with this. I get where they're going with it. But I think I think Cassie's lawsuit, that's probably what was the decline. How about that video of you kicking her in her back and stuff by that elevator? That is what made people not really like you and your reputation. No, I didn't believe Burgess, to be honest. I didn't believe nothing he was talking about. And I did feel it was a little clout chaser-ish. So therefore, I didn't pay neither one of them much attention. So I don't know how much effect they would really had. But it was where people were having him come on the platforms. There were people that did believe the book. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, there were plenty of people that really did believe the book. So, defendants had no good faith basis for claiming that Burgess possessed videos of Mr. Combs involving the actual assault of anyone. Burgess purposefully made up the videos and told hideous lies about Mr. Combs, and Mitchell and News Nation either knew that Burgess's claims were false or made no effort to verify the truth of those false claims. Defendants' malicious lies have materially injured Mr. Combs. That is the heading. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no, I went over too fast. Oh, there you go. As a result of defendants' malicious lies, Mr. Combs has suffered significant reputational economic harm. People who heard and believed defendants' lies have accused Combs on social media that is consumed by hundreds of millions of viewers each and every day of being a debauched monster and a pedo. Moreover, many viewers of this social media post in which defendants' falsehoods are published and republished post harassing and threatening message against Mr. Combs. The unrelenting tide of negative publicity and threatening social media posts resulting from defendants' lies have caused and will continue to cause Mr. Combs severe reputational harm. Defendants' intentionally false and defamatory statements have also poisoned the minds of the overwhelming majority of individuals residing in the Southern District of New York who might qualify for jury service and potentially sit on the jury at Mr. Combs' trial beginning on May 2025. Thus, in addition to all the other harms resulting from defendants' unlawful false statements, they have also deprived him of any meaningful opportunity for a fair trial on the government's charges against him. How many think this man's reputation was jacked up based on Burgess? Huh? Put a 1 in the chat if you think Burgess Ariel Mitchell single-handedly ruined this man's reputation. Anybody? Will there be one? Nurturing Trees to Life said, I can absolutely believe the bullying story. You find a lot of people who have been bullied have no control in their younger years and have displaced aggression towards others. Absolutely. Yes. I don't get one, huh? Nobody? Okay. Yeah. I hope Diddy does not get let free because of clout chaser. Natasha, that's what Natasha said. So I hope this is the civil lawsuit. So this is separate and apart from the criminal lawsuit. You said it's a no. Jokey Joe said, I just wanted to show support. Thank you so much. Thank you for wanting to show support. I appreciate that. You said, what's the opposite of one? Reputational damage. So I wonder if in this case, there is a defense over there in New York. And the defense, I can't think of the exact name, but I know the defense has basically said that when you already have a reputation that's so messed up that it's nothing I can really do to mess up your reputation. And they don't use it very often. But in this case, I don't know if you have to be convicted or something. But it's I cannot think of the name. Is it a libel proof point? I think it's a libel proof plaintiff. Is that what it's called? Let me look it up. Because, we ain't got that here. But, I'm always in somebody else's state in their business. Plaintiff. Okay, let me Google it. Yeah, that's what it's called. See, I be remembering. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if it come up on here. A libel proof plaintiff is someone whose reputation is so poor that no false statement can further damage their standing in the community. Because of this, they cannot prove that they have been harmed by a false statement, and their claim for defamation must fail. The libel-proof plaintiff doctrine is a defense that can be used in defamation lawsuits. It protects publishers and speakers from liability for statements made about someone who has no reputation to protect. The doctrine has 2 branches. Issue specific. A plaintiff's reputation is so damaged on a specific topic that they cannot be further harmed by false statements about that topic. So you have already been damaged by that indictment, by your ex Cassie with that lawsuit, by her saying they was freak offs and all of that stuff. They was just trying to get a little clout off of it. You know what I'm saying? But if you've already been dragged all over this here media, so then it's incremental harm. The effect of non-actionable statement outweighs the damage caused. So basically, it may be a little minute something, but it's not nothing that can be so powerful to really affect you. You know what I'm saying? JoJo, baby, thank you so much for the super chat. You said, I need a freak out video of at least a white woman yelling help through the neighborhood like the lady we saw this weekend. Otherwise, keep your video. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Heather Elliott, see, y'all ain't know that, right? Your girl I'm like, some people, their reputation already so jacked. I know it's kind of messed up, but they have specific cases. The case that I read about a libel-proof plaintiff was over in New York. So I know it can be used over there. So good luck, Chuck. That's all I can say about that. Let's get back to this. First cause of action is defamation. I mean, I ain't trying to tell nobody how to, run and defend their case, but this seemed like a little rough one. You know what I'm saying? Cassandra said, I think it helps Diddy because Courtney and Busby and YouTube characters are making victims look like liars. And there are a lot. There are a few, we got the Jay-Z situation. We had some situation with Adria English. She does have another attorney now, so I guess to go on with that. But her and Ariel Mitchell represented her and withdrew out of that case. There's been a few little shakies, you know what I'm saying? Like even, so yeah, some of them have been a lot of them have been shaky since Cassie. I think Cassie was the most one where everybody was like, looking like, oh, okay, in my opinion. But I think a lot of the other ones were they seemed like they were piggybacking off of trying to get a little bit of clout and a couple of dollars. That's what a lot of the other ones were looking like. But all right, let's keep it going. What I got on the screen? Okay, let's go over the cause of action. Is defamation. Defendants, that's all them defendants, made false and defamatory statements concerning the plaintiff as set forth in detail above. Defendants' defamatory statements included false assertions that Burgess was in possession of videos depicting plaintiff involved in sexual assault of celebrities and minors, and that Mitchell was in possession of information corroborating allegation of heinous sexual assaults. Now, saying that minors were in there, now that does take it to another level, because that's not one thing. I don't think that Cassie made it seem like there were any minors involved. Also, that is not a part of his indictment as we sit here today. So alleging the minors, that might get you, that's a whole different level. Like, we may not respect you for like kicking Cassie in her back, but there's going to be a whole level of disgust if there's minors involved. So yeah, that right there, saying minors, I can see where they going with this. Where they might got a little bit of teeth if he can't prove none of this. So I can see that. So let's go on. These statements published by defendants about plaintiff accused plaintiff of committing a serious crime and engaging in sexual misconduct. These statements published by defendants about plaintiff were defamatory per se. Defamatory per se just means it's defamatory on its face. There are different classes. So you have, let me go ahead and put that up here too. Defamation per se, because basically you don't have to prove damages because it's just considered that it's going to defame you on its face. Let's see. Meaning. Okay. Let me pull that up. Defamation per se in New York is a type of defamation that is considered so harmful that it is presumed to have caused damage to the plaintiff's reputation. This means that the plaintiff does not need to prove that the statement caused actual damages. And these are the areas: accusing someone of a serious crime, accusing someone of having a loathsome disease, accusing someone of unchastity, like saying they banging and all of that, accusing someone of behavior that is incompatible with their profession, making false statements that harm someone's business or trade. So that's defamation per se, as opposed to just plain defamation. Let's go on. Let's pull this back up. And it's not much here, as you see. It was just a lot of facts in here. So I think they just want us to, I think they just wanted the public to know that all of this stuff, that Courtney Burgess, in their opinion, is full of it. He doesn't really have this information. The book is not real. Nobody gave him a darn book. He ain't got no tapes and all of that, because it's just literally one count of defamation. And so they're saying these statements published by defendants cause substantial reputational and financial harm to plaintiff and damage his right to a fair trial in the government's charges against him. Defendants published these statements without privilege to a third party. Defendants published these statements with actual malice. Defendants published these statements with knowledge of their falsity or reckless disregard of their veracity. And their prayer for relief, the plaintiff respectfully requests judgment awarding plaintiff money damage in an amount to be determined at trial, but not less than $50 million. Okay, he want $50 million. All right, ain't that what? No, what did Chris Brown want? 500 million? I don't know, but he wants $50 million. Okay, not less than $50 million for all of this. Okay, on this defamation per se. All right. And that's the end of it. We got, his attorney. We hear a lot from Erica Wolf. She's a busy lady. She's a busy lady. And somehow she found time to actually draft this lawsuit against Ariel Mitchell. Who else is these people? Ariel Mitchell, the Courtney Burgess character, and Next Star Media Inc. Let me see who they are, because I'm like, who is Next Star Media? Next Star Media Inc. I'm trying to see. Because I'm like, who is? Oh, they are. They got subsidiaries are News Nation. So they are suing News Nation. I didn't know if they were suing the platform of the people on there that they were talking about. Thank you so much, Ms. Buckeye, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. LP says, so the fact he's not suing anyone else, i.e. Tiffany Red, Don, the stylist. Well, Don actually sued him. So if he wants to sue her back, it would be, and Don didn't accuse him, I don't believe, of being with no minors. Tiffany never said that. Tiffany Red said she was Cassie's friend, and that, she talks about, so Tiffany Red has a whole movement going on called the One Percenters, I think. And what she does is she tries to help writers get their money. Like a lot of writers and producers, whoever, they're not getting paid like they should be paid. So that's kind of her thing. So she wrote a lot of stuff for Cassie's album that never even came out. So she became very close with Cassie during that time because they were in the studios and working together. So she witnessed the destructive relationship that they had. She said she had a friend who he held over a balcony or something, and I think she sued Diddy as well. But I don't know about anybody else that's saying something about minors out of those people. So, yeah. So you said, does that mean they're not lying, or is it just the child P he's concerned about? I think we know about Cassie. It's hard to say that. He's going to have to prove the stuff about, I ain't going to say we know about Cassie. Let me take that back. I wasn't there. But Cassie's allegations, I think, were more believable. People were looking at videos. People were looking at pictures. We saw the video of the domestic violence. So there's no way that he can say that didn't happen. He can say he was at a bad place in life. He can give an explanation, but he can't really explanation so we can understand, but he cannot deny that it occurred. Saying that this stuff, because what his defense is that, I was out here having he's not denying having relations with women or whoever. He's saying everything was consensual is what his main argument is. So now you throw minors in there. Minors, even if they say they want to be a part of it, they cannot consent. Minors cannot consent regardless under the law. So therefore, yes, it's very important when you talk about minors. I think the minors aspect of this is what they're going to hang their hat on. So yes. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. I'm so sleepy. I just need a nap. But I had to come on. I hadn't been on. And tomorrow is supposed to be, I'll be back on tomorrow, whatever time, with the whole TD Jakes. Duane Youngblood is supposed to file his response on tomorrow. So we'll be back on tomorrow when that response is filed. That's it. That's all I got. What y'all got? Y'all got something else? You said tell your dad to turn on his notifications. What do you mean? What do you mean to have him turn on his notifications? AC, wouldn't you like to know? Said, I'm trying to understand what the point was about bringing up Kim Porter. I don't know. That's a very good question, AC. I would say from a publicity standpoint, if you're trying to get your name out here, people have speculations about Kim Porter or surrounding her death and all of that. If you watch the Bad Boys, Making of a Bad Boy on Peacock, LB Shore was on there and he all but was saying a whole lot of stuff. He was insinuating that it was something he believed Kim was murdered. He didn't say who it was, but I think he basically said that, and he make it seem like people was after him too. But if you watch the Peacock documentary, it's very clear. They kept putting it on there, and I have to give them their credit for that. They were like, well, we know years ago that LB Shore also had bariatric surgeries, I think, and that a lot of his symptoms or whatever happened to him are complications of that surgery too. So some of this stuff is there may be people that may have known allegedly what Diddy has done, and they're just kind of pinning every ailment on him, whether it's true or not, or whether they have proof. So I think Kim Porter's name was going to obviously bring clickbait because a lot of people do have questions surrounding her death. So that's why I think he chose to bring up Kim. Of course, I don't know because I don't know these people, but so that is it. They said it's all a lie. That's what all I said. They were clout chasing. It's all a lie. You ruin my reputation and you're ruining my jury pool. If we were to sum it up. Oh, you don't get the notifications. Okay. You got to turn them on, right? For always forever. Don't you got to turn on your notifications so that you can know when they go live? Because I've been trying to tell him to post it. He's posting it. Maybe he'll just get more a specific time to go live. That's what I want him to do. Just get more, because I can't do that. I would love to have a set time and put it in my schedule like I do my everyday stuff, but I can't do that because I'm going live whenever the documents hit. So sometimes I'm on at noon, sometimes I'm on at 5, sometimes I'm on at, like, I would have came on earlier with this, but I had a video meeting at 7:00, so I couldn't come on until after I finished my meeting. So yeah. So I don't know, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. YouTube doesn't always send out notifications. No, they don't. That's why I was telling him, if you know, because you're at home, that you're going to come on at 11:00 Central, 12:00 Eastern, then people can just go on there, and know, okay, he coming on at noon. Whatever time, whatever day you come on, it's going to be at noon. Now, I know on Sundays, because he's been doing this for years on Facebook, he just got to YouTube, so he attaches it. But on Sunday, he goes live at 9 in the morning Eastern time. So he's been doing that for like 3 years for the Sunday message. So that's I'm assuming that's gonna continue, because he still like actually preaches at like 10 or 11 o'clock in the brick and mortar church. So that's that. I'm glad you receive it. So yeah, you gotta just cut it on. You just gotta cut it on. That's all. But I tell him, I want him to do it in advance. He's learning. He's doing better than I thought he was. I thought he was gonna be like, this ain't for me after the first week, but he's done very well. So I'm proud of him. For those of you that don't know, we're talking about my father who has this YouTube channel, and he does scriptures and words of encouragement and all of that. He is a pastor. So if that's your cup of tea, then you can go over there and subscribe to the channel. Miss Buckeye has it in she is one of his great mods over there. So Granny the Great Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Y'all, I'll be back on tomorrow. Okay. I'll be back on tomorrow. I mean, the complaint speaks for itself. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got. So until next time, I'll holler at you guys later.